Have you ever met a man who looks grown but still lives like a boy, avoiding decisions, running from responsibility, and hiding behind distractions? This is no fairy tale. This is the Peter Pan syndrome, the tragedy of never becoming the man life demands you to be. At first, it feels harmless. Living in comfort, avoiding pressure, and chasing fun. But beneath the surface, something darker is happening. Opportunities are wasted, relationships crumble, and time slips away. And when the mask of youth finally cracks, what remains is not freedom, it's regret. The question is, how many men are silently trapped in this illusion, and worse, are you one of them? The illusion of endless youth, the tragedy often begins with a seductive lie. You still have time. Many men convince themselves that they can delay growth, that responsibilities will somehow wait, that maturity will magically arrive when the moment is right. But life is not patient, and time is never generous. The illusion of endless youth keeps them trapped in a cycle of procrastination, stuck in habits that feel harmless at first, staying up late, ignoring opportunities, choosing distractions over discipline. It all feels like freedom, but in reality, it's a prison without visible walls. Each year becomes a repeat of the last, and before they know it, their 20s blur into their 30s, then their 40s, with nothing significant to show. What once looked like an innocent delay slowly mutates into wasted years, lost dreams, and a silent bitterness. Men who believe they can outsmart time eventually wake up to the cruelest truth of all. Youth doesn't last, and life doesn't wait. That is the haunting start of Peter Pan syndrome, the refusal to grow, disguised as freedom, but carrying the seeds of future regret. The comfort trap. Comfort feels safe, even seductive, but it hides its danger well. Men who never grow up often slip into comfort zones, choosing pleasure over pressure, ease over effort. Games, endless entertainment, casual living, or avoiding challenges may feel like relaxation, but in reality, they weaken ambition. The comfort trap doesn't break you all at once. It erodes you slowly, silently, until your drive fades and your fire dies out. It convinces you that you're fine where you are, that nothing needs to change, and that you can always start tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. Comfort disguises itself as peace, yet it is the quiet killer of growth. Those who live in it for too long find themselves restless, bored, and secretly unfulfilled. Deep down, they know something is missing, but instead of confronting it, they run deeper into distractions. And the longer they stay in this trap, the harder it becomes to escape. What starts as innocent comfort becomes a chain, and the tragedy is, most don't even realize they're shackled until it's too late. Escaping responsibility. Responsibility is the weight that shapes strength. Yet for men stuck in Peter Pan syndrome, it's the one thing they constantly run from. Bills, commitments, decisions. Anything that demands accountability feels suffocating, so they escape. They prefer shortcuts, excuses, or leaning on others to carry the burden. On the surface, this escape feels like freedom, but underneath it weakens them. Responsibility is not meant to destroy, it is meant to build. Just like lifting weights strengthens muscles, carrying responsibility strengthens character. Without it, they stay fragile, dependent, and unprepared for life's inevitable storms. The longer they avoid responsibility, the more powerless they become, and the world begins to treat them not as men, but as boys who never grew. The irony is that by running from responsibility, they lose the very thing they seek: respect, independence, and self-worth. And one day, when life finally demands payment, the weight they tried to escape returns in crushing force, leaving them broken under the pressure they never learned to carry. Relationships without depth a boy can attract, but he cannot sustain. Men trapped in Peter Pan syndrome often find themselves entangled in shallow relationships, charming at first, but incapable of lasting commitment. They crave affection, attention, and validation, but when true responsibility enters the picture, when love requires sacrifice, effort, and consistency, they withdraw. They want the thrill of romance without the depth of partnership, the sweetness of attention without the strength of loyalty. Over time, this leaves a trail of broken trust, empty connections, and regretful endings. Deep relationships require maturity, stability, and the willingness to build, not just enjoy. But the boy who refuses to grow up is incapable of giving that. As years pass, he discovers that love built on games and surface-level attraction cannot survive the weight of real life. The emptiness inside him only grows louder, and what once looked like freedom in relationships now becomes loneliness disguised as independence. The tragedy is not just losing love, it's realizing he never truly gave it in the first place. The hidden regret, the cruelest part of Peter Pan syndrome, is not the wasted youth, it's the hidden regret that arrives too late. For years, a man may believe he is free, escaping responsibility, choosing comfort, and living for pleasure. But one day, when the illusions crack, reality hits with merciless clarity. He looks back and sees years gone, opportunities lost, relationships destroyed, and dreams abandoned. The boy he once was still stares at him from the mirror, but the youth is gone, and all that remains is an aging man with no foundation. This is the deepest tragedy, not failing, but never daring to grow, never daring to build, never daring to become the man he could have been. Regret is the shadow that follows every man who refuses to grow, and when it finally catches up, it whispers the most haunting question of all. What could your life have been if you had faced the challenge instead of running from it? That question has no answer, and it is the silence that destroys him from within.